Hey everybody, we're back. Happy 2022. Hopefully it was prosperous for you guys. Hopefully it was a relaxing time. I know for us it was, and we decided, hey, we're not going to wait too long to come back, give you great content. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to unpackage. Um, Before I say all that, I'll let Anthea say some things before I go on a tangent. So
Yeah,
just let her say
thanks,
some things.
Michael. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for following us, for joining us, and we're so excited to start 2022 on this subject also. And yeah, I hope this year brings you everything that you could ever ask for. And one of the things is a happy, loving relationship is what we all would like in our life. And I hope you guys get that. And I hope by listening to us, it helps you find a better version of yourself, to have a better relationship with yourself, with others, and your partner in general. So I'm really looking forward to this year, Michael. Like, honestly, really looking forward to doing this. And yeah, and just please like us and follow us and support us in every way you can. And we really appreciate it. We love doing this, as we always say. So yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to say a bunch of things, and I honestly think, again, I want you guys to understand that this podcast is about information and application. And at the end of the day, we're here just to add value to the space, right? So our podcast morally focuses on the conversation itself that a lot of people ignore when it comes to dating and relationships, or just even self-worth. And then we want to give you, based off of the stories we share, the videos we share, the conversations we have, applicable things that you can use
Mhm.
to make those changes. Because we could come on here and just talk about relationships, but if there's no solutions, that now we're just wasting your time and insulting your intelligence, which is something we don't want to do. So every
Absolutely.
time we come on here to inform you guys so you guys can make better decisions, because I've noticed that in my life, certain conversations spark certain things. It will spark
Mm.
like a certain level of awareness. It will spark something where I can move different, be different. And we want to be able to provide that same opportunity to you, while also having the podcast be entertaining and fun, but also very informative, so you guys can walk away knowledgeable.
And you
Uh,
know what, Michael, and you saying that, it's amazing, isn't it? You just said something that just hit something in me. It's like, through a conversation or something being said, it sparks something in you and it brings a new awareness. And I think that's so important, because if you're not hearing things and you're not having those conversations, then sometimes you're blind to it. So you go along in a relationship not knowing any different as such. But once you hear something and it resonates with you, then you can relate it back to yourself to say, okay, I just heard something that actually I'm experiencing. Let me listen to a little bit more. Let me see how this can be helpful in my life and what I can do to make a change. Because we're very blindsided when it comes to relationships, and especially when you're in love, let's say, and you make up every excuse possible to being treated like in a way that's not congruent to you, that's not good for you. But then you go, yeah, but this, he says this, or yeah,
you try
but
to
he does
you
this.
try to
Yeah,
justify bad
that's
behavior.
absolutely trying to justify bad behavior. And we want to help you steer away from that bad behavior and bring that back to yourself, to understand with you how, for yourself to be able to move forward in a way that brings happiness to 2022, especially now we're in a new year now. So if we can start off with it in a way that's going to be helpful and uh, what's the word, just,
Productive.
yeah, productive towards you, so that you can implement things that we speak about. Because we having a human experience here, we also have had relationships, we're also had recent relationships. So and we're able to show you where our mistakes have been and what we've been able to learn from that, and be able to move forward without going through that serious pain, because really
Mm-hmm.
it's, I think we've said from the beginning here, Michael, like it's about self-love. And if you don't set those boundaries in place for you, and you don't have your markers to say, well, this is, I'm not going to accept this, I'm not having anyone speak to me like that, I'm not having anyone treat me like that, then it'll be easier for you to be able to deal with the relationships. But
Well,
so
that's
many.
why when we talk here, I need you guys and girls to understand is it's accountability on both parts. We're not
Right.
just saying it's all the girls' fault. No,
No.
because that would be bashing women. And then we're
Mm,
not saying it's all the guys' fault because now you're bashing guys. It's
mm.
literally looking at both sides of the spectrum, men and women, and saying, yo, there's both things that we both need to work on, on both sides, like for men and women. You know what I mean? Like for us to get the ultimate prize, the best relationship, marriage, kids, or maybe just marriage, or maybe just the best relationship. So there's accountability on both parts that we need to learn, that Anthea's learned, that I've learned. Because again, with those things, when you're able to acknowledge certain truths, you're able to pick better partners. And that's the problem. A lot of times we are careless in the partners we pick. We are careless on who we
Mm,
have bedroom fun with. And that's the
mhm.
problem. Like, and again, it's no shade or no judgment, but let's look at it in hindsight. If you sleep with somebody that slept with a lot of people, let's keep it a stack. It's like you slept with all those people too.
Absolutely, because that energy exchange, isn't it? And
Yeah,
people
well,
don't
it's
realize
energy
this.
exchange, it's spirit exchange, like, and again, like it's for both parties, for men and women. Like if I'm with a girl and I find out she's doing like 100 dudes, like I don't want to say it's like I slept with 100 dudes, but you know what I mean, like,
Yeah,
like it's that energy exchange.
yeah. Let's not say that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like,
Yeah, but I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're sleeping with somebody, you're downloading all the energy that's been in them. So if all their experiences are not the best experiences, then you're taking that on board, and then you don't realize why you're falling into depression, why you're feeling certain ways. But if you look at the person you're sleeping with, it will give you answers to a lot of things. And when I realized this, I was like, my body is a temple. Like literally, I realized that you do. I literally realized in that moment, I am not just, there's no way I'm just going to sleep with anybody. You stop to think about it, but have awareness, and you look at that person, say, what is going on in their world? And do I want that world inside my world?
I'm
Literally,
gonna
right?
give you guys today, because I know we're going off topic, but I'm gonna give you guys today, when it comes to that, a little heavenly moment right now. You guys are gonna get that right now
I love that.
on what she spoke about. When you have bedroom fun with somebody, and again, you guys can take this to the bank, you are pouring your identity into that individual.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what you're doing. You're taking your identity and you're imprinting your identity into that individual. So if you are doing that, you have to ask yourself, do you want this person's identity in you,
Mm.
and you and them in you, and vice versa?
Mm. And you know what? This is a perfect lead up to what we're about to speak
Yeah.
about.
So then you have to ask yourself, is that an identity I want? And
Mm.
that's where you have to take out the emotional part and think on a logical basis and say, is that an identity I want? So think about it. If somebody's been with 50 to 100 people, it means they have a hard time maintaining relationships. So
Mm.
it's probably not the best person for you to be with.
Mm.
I'm going to say it again, just so everybody can hear us. If this person, guy or girl, has slept with a lot of people, it means they have a hard time having a hard time maintaining relationships. Now, I know some people are going to get triggered. They're going to be like, "Oh my god, that's not me," or blah blah blah. Why are you hating? You don't hate on it if it's the facts.
No, it's facts. Facts
So
is, yeah. Absolutely.
Because we live in a fact-based reality. We don't live in an emotional-based reality where your feelings dictate reality. Let's be honest. Look at, for example, Future. Women know that this dude is a Chad. He has 13 different baby mamas. And a lot of guys move like this. So if you are choosing a man like this, like repeatedly, or choosing a man like that in general, it says a lot about
About
your judgment making
yes,
decision. Because
and
think about it. Let's say he slept with girl number 5. Girl number 6 knows he moves like that. But she's still like, well, he's hot anyways, or I'm going to do this anyways. Come now.
yeah, and do you know what I'm going to say? A lot of women will think, and they, whether you admit it or you don't admit it, I know, right? Because I'm a woman, they will say, "Yeah, but it's different for me and him. This is
Mm-mm.
different." No, it's not
It's not.
different. It's not. I've just recently found out myself. It's not different.
It's
It's not.
not.
It's
Because even if
really,
we look
really
at,
not.
and again, this is no shade towards the women, look at the women that have been with a lot of dudes, like stars or whatever. They have a hard time maintaining relationships.
Yep.
And
Yep.
let's keep it a stack. And but we live in a world where it's a clown world where we like to think, oh, that's not true. The statistics are there. You can go
Hmm.
Google them.
Hmm.
That's why
You
we
know,
do the studies. The studies are there to show us something is wrong in certain dynamics. Let's say, for example, the marriage rate, it's 80%. You can't be like, well, that's not me. It's a template showing you that there's something wrong when people are getting married.
hmm.
It doesn't mean marriage is wrong. It means people are choosing wrong.
And you know what? Also, I want to just add to that, Michael. There's, you know what? If anyone's like me, in the sense of we look for the best in people and we make excuses to say, yeah. And you know what? Something I found out or understood recently and realized was you can look for the best in someone, but it doesn't change who they are. When someone shows you who they are, believe them, because like I really do look for the positives and try and find all the positives in someone, but you have to look at how they're treating you, how they're showing up for you, what they're doing for you, and be able to identify the difference. Because I always used to think, well, if I look for the best and I focus just on the positives, then I'll just get the positives from this person. And yes, to a certain degree you do get the good and the positives from that person. However, if they're out doing other things when your back is turned, then yeah, yes, they might show up for you in a certain way, but behind your back they're doing other things. Then is that really what you want? Again, it's, you know, you've really got to look at the whole picture. And like Michael's always saying, stop leading by your emotions, because man, I just done it again recently. And but I've understood another thing here is that until I've taken the lesson and learned, I will continue to attract and be with those type of people that are not ready for me, and,
Can I
and
tell
ready
you
for
guys a secret? If I was to date someone, I want to see them at their best and their worst, because then
right.
I can decide if I can handle them at their worst. Because what happens if at their worst, hypothetically, there's somebody that yells, gets angry, can't handle conflict, can't handle disagreement, always wants to be right. I need to see that to say, I don't know if that's something I can deal with. Because let's say stuff goes left and she starts yelling, screaming, cursing, degrading character, all those things. I need to know that off rip to say,
Yes.
nah, I don't want to be with somebody like that. But a lot of
Yes.
times we don't find that out until we get in the relationship. And then
Yes.
at that point, you've already gotten attached. All the things have already happened. And now you have a hard time letting go.
And people are good at hiding things, aren't they? They're so good at being able to show up and show you, oh, I'm like, you know, I'm great and I'm calm and I'm this and I'm that. But then as time goes on, there's only a certain period of time before you have to show your true colors. And once your true colors comes out, that's it. And a problem with a lot of women is that they get, like you said, they get emotionally attached and then they don't want to walk away and they fear
Well, it's
walking
both
away.
sides. It's for guys and girls.
Well, yeah, but I think women have that emotional attachment a lot more than
Oh,
what a man
so
does.
you got some guys, once they've been with some, like a girl, they have a hard time letting go too. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Some
Yeah.
guys have a hard time walking away from a woman that's not good for them. I've
Yeah.
been there multiple times. Sometimes you have a hard time because you're like, oh, she's so amazing, she's so good, but it's because you're only focused on, you're only looking at it from one spectrum. You're
Yeah.
only looking
Yeah.
at it from the spectrum of, oh, she does all these amazing things, but the bad stuff that she does is really bad.
Mm.
Degrading your character, putting you down, like all those things. And that's what I'm saying is you cannot ignore certain tendencies. You just
Mm-hmm.
cannot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what this podcast is built upon. It is built upon a certain level of awareness. It is built upon so many things. So before we get started, I'm going to share a few things with you guys. Obviously, as you know, we're on TikTok. We are on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on
Yay.
TikTok. We're on Twitter. If you guys want to follow us, by the time this video
Instagram.
ends, midday, you guys can go on Linktree. It's always attached to the video down below. You'll be able to click down below on our Linktree and you'll be able to see every single social media platform that we're on. You can click on the one of your preferred preference and go watch us there. You can watch short clips of this video. So they'll take like 3 minutes of this video, the best part, short clip it, and you guys can watch the shorter version. You guys can follow us on Instagram, where we're constantly posting 3 times a week on Instagram. So we're trying to literally put ourselves everywhere and anywhere so you guys can hear us on every platform. And then what happens is I also have a nice little surprise for you guys before we jump into today's video. Actually, I've wanted to share this with you guys for a long time. Anthea hasn't even heard it either.
Mm-hmm. I like it when it's like this.
So again, this is going to be a new little surprise. What happens is, guys, is I did a mixtape a long time ago, right? And I never got to finish it, and I'm going to finish it. But I'm also going to do one for the Love and Relationship podcast as well. So I'm
Excellent.
only here to share a sample of it with you guys. I'm going to mute my mic so you guys can hear it, a little sample of it. And I will be getting back into the studio probably in the summer to do one for love and relationships and also finish this mixtape for you guys as well. So we're going to play this. We're going to jump into today's video. I know you guys are clamoring at the teeth to hear about cheating. And yeah, so enjoy this, and we will get into today's topic real soon. One of the biggest common denominators that I see is people not living full and dying empty. There's a huge mentality of, I'll just do it later. I got all the time in the world. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that that is not true, and it's the wrong mindset to have. Unfortunately, in this thing called life, the lights can go out at any time. You don't have control over that. And I'm speaking from experience. In this life, I've almost died 4 times in accidental situations, but they were eye-opening nonetheless. Those situations showed me that I should not settle in any part of my life. When it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to dating, friendships, or just the value that I bring. And neither should you. You are a cup pouring from a place of overflow, and the world benefits when you're operating at your fullest and the people around you. Living full and dying empty means leaving everything on the table. Your goals, your dreams, any ambition that you have, wanting to write a book, wanting to do music, anything, acting, You pour them into the world and you leave nothing to chance. You live with no regrets. We're always asking for opportunity, but never take hold of the real opportunity. That is life itself.
That's brilliant. Oh, wow. That gave me goosebumps.
Okay, guys, so that's just a sample of what I've done, and I want to be able to do a full one for love and relationships in the studio. I'm going to be working with a producer. We're going to do a full one, and you guys will be able to download that as well. We're going to try to make that available on iTunes and all that other fun stuff.
I'm flying to Canada.
Well, don't worry. Actually, I've been speaking to the producer, and what we're going to do is probably take some short clips from our podcast and put them into the mixtape.
That's brilliant.
So
absolutely
the stuff
brilliant.
that we talk about here, he's going to be able to clip it from the YouTube that we do and be able to put it into certain tracks. So don't worry, you might not be here physically, but you'll still
flying
be
to
here.
Canada. Listen, I'm still flying to Canada. So either which way round, I'm coming.
Yeah, so
it's about time we actually hang on. It's about time we actually met, human to human. We've never met. 7 years of friendship, and actually,
and guys have people have always asked, like, how do you guys vibe? So we've known each other for a long time, so
we have, we really have.
But let's get into today's topic. I know you guys have been like, okay, when are they going to talk about cheating? Ooh. Should you take back a cheater? And I guess I'm going to ask Anthea, should you take back a cheater?
Well, I put that actually when I shared on my Facebook page, somebody replied straight away, yes. So I asked them, I'm curious. Why did you say yes? I mean, I haven't looked to see the reply. But for me personally, I think it depends. There's no yes or there's no no or there's no right answer here. I think it just depends on the relationship. Now, somebody who has just met somebody, if you're new into a relationship and you find out that the person's cheating right off the off-go and you haven't had a chance to even really get to be with them, you haven't had those memories together yet, you haven't built up that solid relationship with that person, then no, you don't get. I would say straight up no. What do you want to do with that person if that's what they're doing from the off-go? They've said they want to be with you. You've agreed that you're in a relationship. That's the way you're walking. And the next thing you know, they're cheating. Well, that just shows you that that's how it's always going to be. Why? Like, I think you've got a question if that's what's happening. Why would you go back and get with that person and believe what they have to say? You don't even really know that person yet. You haven't built anything with them. But then if you're with somebody and you've been with them for, let's just say on a longer scale, 15 years, and you guys you've got like the best friendship, you've got the most amazing things has happened. Yes, you've had your ups and downs, obviously, because that's just called life. There's nothing's going to be on a straight and narrow at all times. But you've 15 years worth of a relationship, and most of it has been on an absolute high. You guys communicate well. You guys show up for each other. You guys have built like empires together as such. You've done so much together and you understand each other. You're in a good vibe. There's love, there's compassion, there's everything you would ever want from a relationship. If that's the place you're in, and let's say, I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective here. Let's say something happens. Let's say somebody passes away with your husband or in your long-term relationship and they go for a really bad patch and they kind of lose their track. And then one night they're out and they sleep with somebody. But they are so sorry, and you can feel from them that it's not something, they haven't done that for 15 years. It's not something that they plan to do again. It was something in the moment where something had, like, things had crumbled around them massively, and they fell into something where somebody's come along, give them this different type of attention, and bam, that's happened. And they've come back and they've told you, they haven't hidden it from you. They've been straight up with you and they've said to you, this is what's happened. and they know, and you know the difference when somebody knows and feels that that's, I don't want to, like, not just sorry, because sorry is so easy to say, but you can feel a difference with somebody being, I want to use the word congruent again to themselves, and being in that feeling of knowing that they have messed up and they are so, well, it's just hurt them so badly what they've done. Yes, they had the choice. Yes, it was, there's something that you don't just sleep with someone and it takes 1 second, it takes time. So it could have stopped at any time, but no matter what, it's gone through. I think at that stage, yes, you can take somebody back. Yes, I think you can.
Okay.
But I think in general, if it's someone who's multiple cheating, or yeah, you've seen them, they keep doing it. Yeah, you've got to take notice of what's happening. I would say no. So I just think it depends on the situation, who you're with, how long you've been with them, what type of relationship you've had thus far, to your decision from there.
Interesting. Very interesting. Um, Guys, is it okay if the beast come out in a little bit? I'm gonna bring the beast out right now when it comes to cheating, guys. Look, on this podcast, you're gonna hear me admit sometimes, say that I was wrong. So this is one of those moments, right? I was one of those guys. I'm never taking back a cheater. This was me, sounding like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. I'm never taking anyone back. They cheat on me. I'm out. What you guys need to understand is everything is situational.
Mm.
That's what you need to understand, right? If they were like at a party and like they kiss somebody, okay, then we'll have a conversation about it. But you see, it's situational to the person. Because
Mm.
for me, if you sleep with someone, it's done. Like you sleep with them, it's over. Like now, if you kiss them or make out, but if you've literally had bedroom fun, rolling around in the sheets, where I'm out.
So regardless, so no matter, so even if it's been like the situation that I
Yeah.
just said, so even like that. See, but how can you say that if you haven't
Because the
experienced
thing
that?
is, I'm this is where it becomes situational. I'm never gonna look at you the same.
Yeah, but you don't
Because
know
think
that,
about it like
Michael.
this. Think about it like this. From a marriage perspective, right? When we date people, we're not dating just to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. There's an end goal, right? The end goal is what? Marriage, maybe not kids, maybe kids, but the end goal is marriage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You've defiled our marriage bed now. You've shared your body with another man. At that point, the like I can understand if you were at a party, you made out with somebody or you kissed them. Okay, we're gonna have a conversation. I might not trust you as much, but you sharing your body, having another man, and again, I'm gonna say it, whatever. If we get monetized, it's fine. Another man penetrate you, I'm out.
Can I ask you, what does in the terms making out over, because we don't use that over in the UK.
So, like,
So what
let's say
does that
like she was
actually
at a
mean?
party and like she's kissing up with this guy. That's making out, and
Okay.
he's like touching her, like stuff like that. But
Okay.
as I said, like first of all, and again, let's break it down. If you're with a good person, first of all, they wouldn't even be at a party. Second of all, if you're dating a good person, they would enforce boundaries with people outside of the relationship, like friends or whoever, or men or people of the opposite gender. They would enforce those boundaries to say, "Hey, I have a man," or "I got a girl. Like, can you please like slow your roll?" And that's why enforcing boundaries is so important, because if you don't do that, a lot of things can happen. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You're protecting your relationship from certain aspects. Like if you have like, again, I'm only gonna speak as a guy. If you have a girl that's like going out and doing like partying every weekend, going to clubs, hanging out with guys that she used to be with intimately,
No,
you're
that's
you're
a
you're, you're
no-no.
putting your relationship at risk by
Absolutely.
allowing that behavior. Am I telling you that you could tell her what to do? No.
No.
If she
Up to
wants to
her.
do, yeah, because no one's allowed to control anybody. If
No.
she's like, hey, I want to go hang around with, my ex-boyfriend. I want to party every weekend. I want to, do whatever. That's fine. You're just not going to do it with me.
And it's not for that. That is not a relationship person. And I think that's where you need to
Yeah.
identify, to understand, to see
Hmm.
if that's the behavior or the movements of somebody. Like if I'm with a guy and I see that every weekend he's out partying or he's out drinking or he's out doing
Yeah.
things, then why would I would question, what is it you want to be with him for what reason? Because that's what you're going to get. And that's not, like you rightfully said, that's not for me to tell him or say, I don't want you to do that. No, you do what you do, and I will
You're
see
just
whether
not going to do it with me.
yeah, I'm just going to see if you're right for me. If that's the behavior that I want around, and that's the movements that I'm happy to have in a relationship, that's one thing. But for me, no, that's not for me. How can I possibly be happy in a relationship knowing that my man's going out? The only reason you're going out on a weekend to go and do those things, or to party, or to be at clubs, or to drink, or to meet up with other people, is because you don't want to spend that time with me.
Yeah, like let's keep it like, you know what I mean? I would literally just tell a person this. That's what I would tell them. Like, yo, like, why are you here? Because people want their cake and to eat it too. They want to be in a relationship, but be able to do what they want to do.
I'm going to tell
And
you
that's
something.
the problem.
Yes.
Relationships are about trade-offs. You don't get to say, well, I get to be in a relationship. No, like there's certain behaviors that are conducive to being in a relationship and inconducive to being in a relationship. Now, if you
Absolutely.
display more inconducive behaviors, why should you get a relationship? You're not entitled to one.
No, because you're just playing games with somebody, because
Well, no,
you
you're a
know,
risk.
yeah,
You
you are a
are
risk. And
a dating risk. If
because
you're
you know
saying,
what? Hang on. There is people, Michael, that will speak one thing and act in another. So they will come to you and they will tell you all the right things,
mm-hmm,
everything that you'd want to hear. And then when you watch their actions, there is no alignment whatsoever with
well,
the
that's what I
actions,
was saying. Yeah,
right?
because they have behaviors that are inconducive
Conducive.
to having a successful relationship. I'm going to
Absolutely.
say it again. That individual, guy or girl, has behaviors that are inconducive with being in a relationship. They want their cake and eat it too. They say, hey, I want to be with you, but I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Yep.
Well, no, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to be with me and do what you want to do. It's like I can't be with you and do what I want to do.
Right. Because then
Doesn't
that's
work
not a
that way.
relationship, is it? If you're
No,
going to do
because
what
then
you want to do.
you get this. You don't get nothing.
No, exactly. Can I just say, I spoke to someone and and her man was cheating on her, and now she was saying, um, but I want him with me. I want to be with him. And I said, why? She said, because I love him. So I said, what do you love about him? She had spilled
Agreed.
out. She had spilled out the amount of times he cheated, things that he'd done that obviously I wouldn't say on the podcast, but
No,
things that are
he just cheated. Like he
yeah,
just
it was
cheated.
more than cheating. There was other things that had
Well,
happened, and
whatever.
it was all negative
They
behaviors.
were inconducive behaviors.
Inconducive behaviors, Michael, humongously inconducive. But she was, but I love him. So I said, what is it you love about him? Oh, we're best friends. Okay. What is it you love about him? Oh, well, we've had a good time together over the past couple of years. Okay. So what do you love about him? Now, if I tell you she could not answer, it was only because her ego had taken over. She didn't want to believe and feel that he hasn't chosen her. So everything that was she was saying just had no relevance to why you're going to stay with this
Well,
person.
there was no sustenance.
That's
in
the
what
yeah.
she
There
was
was no
saying,
substance
and
to it.
and that's the
Absolutely.
thing, right? Um, when it comes to this, it's for a lot of people, as I said, everything is situational,
Yeah.
right? It depends on the individual. It depends how you feel about the situation, right? So that's the thing. We don't judge, but for everybody, it's going to be that way.
Yeah.
It's going to
Look,
be a situational matter. It's going to be, should I stay or should I go? Now, we're going to get into today's video. I know you guys have been chomping at the teeth to hear it. I'm going to mute the mic. We're going to listen to one of my favorite content creators. It's a man that I wouldn't say I look up to, but I inspire to be like because of how he carries himself. And we're actually going to listen to what Mr. Stefan Speaks has to say about cheating.
he's brilliant.
Fidelity, to stay or to go. Stay tuned for more. Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Stefan Labossiere, aka Stefan Speaks, your certified life and relationship coach, here to help you overcome any struggle that you're feeling with relationships, help you experience better results in life, in love, in success, in spirituality, you name it, we're going to talk about it. But today, we're going to be hitting on the topic of infidelity and helping you understand how you should handle it and which way you should go with this relationship if infidelity does come about. Now, before we continue, as always, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's take a poll. When someone cheats on you, should you stay or should you go? Leave your comment below. Either say stay or say leave or go. Either one is fine. But I want to see how many of you guys feel that you should walk away or if you should give it a chance. And then we're going to discuss this a little bit further. So let's get into this situation. Number one, infidelity. We have to understand that there's a lot of different reasons why infidelity happens in a relationship. And it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. For some people, there could be a void in the relationship or neglect that is occurring in the relationship. Now, none of these things that I'm about to explain to you is to validate cheating. It's simply to explain why the infidelity might be occurring. So neglect is one of those things.
See, I love what he said. We're not here to validate cheating. It's, you know what I mean? It's bad either way. But we're going to get into
But there's reasons.
why people cheat.
Yeah, there's reasons why it
Yeah,
happened.
there's reasons why it happens. We're not going to be able to cover them all, but there's reasons.
There is sexual neglect, there is emotional neglect. And these things can have a huge negative impact on the relationship. Some individuals, the void that they're facing is within themselves. And the reality is that they haven't found purpose in life. They haven't found that thing that fulfills them. And so they look for other relationships to make them feel better about who they are. It's kind of an ego booster for them. And that can happen to both men and women. All right. I know that sometimes when we think about infidelity, many people go straight to just men cheating. But the reality is that a lot of women are cheating as well. Some may argue even more than men. I'm not going to say which one I think that is right now, but it definitely happens on both sides. So, like I said, that void within themselves and that lack of purpose and that lack of fulfillment can create problems and open the door to infidelity. And again, those are just a couple things, but there's a lot more to discuss. But what we're talking about here is to stay or to go. And so my answer to that is it depends. All right. You can't just say a blanket statement. If someone cheats, you leave, end of story, that's it. There's so much more to consider there. So let's start with the fact that cheating can be described as various different things. To some people, if your partner or their partner watched porn, they cheated. If they flirted with someone, they may consider that cheating. For others, it may be simply having sexual intercourse. It may be kissing someone. There's various ways people define cheating.
See, that's why I brought it up. You see what he was saying? It really depends what you define as an individual as cheating. So I really want us to focus on that, like before we continue the video. That's why I was saying it really depends. You might consider him flirting with another woman cheating.
Mm.
You might consider him watching pornography cheating. Vice versa, guy or girl.
Mm.
But as I said, it's what your limits are. That's why I said, for me, you have another man in bed with you and you guys have had sex, that's it. But like as he said earlier, you can't just say, well, I'm leaving, you do this.
But I think that's the point, isn't it? If somebody's done that and it's because of lack of emotional support, or they've had there's been no communication, then it could be that actually you go and do counseling together, or you actually turn to something and you guys work through it, and that love and respect that you naturally have for each other, and that connection you have can come back together. And I think is forgiveness is one thing and forgetting is another thing. But if you're somebody that can't forget that, then obviously you're not going to be able to move forward. But if you're someone who
that's
can,
me. That's my
see,
character.
I'm not like that. I can, and I actually would be able to, depending on obviously the type of relationship I'm in, and if it's that loving, and if it's a relationship that, that dream relationship that everybody wants to experience. And I've been in it for a very long time, and like I said, there's been a major breakdown somewhere. Something hasn't, for a couple of months, and things have not been going right, and he cheats once. But I know, and he's come to me straight away, and I know, because he's been honest, and I can feel it and see it in him, and he wants to work through this, and we bring to the table what we feel has been the issues, and we resolve the issues together, then I would continue with that relationship. But
yeah, I agree with you. It's just from and I know this is going to sound a little far, but it's just for me as a man, if you shared your body with another man, I'm never going to look at you the same. I just won't. Because it's like you've shared something that was supposed to be us with someone else. So even if we continue to be together, let's say I give the person a chance and we continue to be together, the bedroom fun part of it's never going to be the same, because I'm always constantly going to be reminded that you were with another man.
But look at, so let me just throw something in there, Michael. So before they met you, they'd had sex with not many other people, but you wouldn't think of that when you get with the person. So why would you think of it in between that?
But think about, put it like this, retrospect. Yes, she had sex with other people, but we weren't in an exclusive relationship.
But she still had sex with other people.
Oh yeah, but I meant when you are in a relationship, think about it like this concept. When you're in a relationship with someone, there's a commitment. There's a commitment of, I won't cheat on you, you won't cheat on me. There's a trust factor. Those other people that she slept with before, I wasn't in the picture. So whatever happened in her past, that's fine. But in this moment, right now, when I'm like, let's say I'm talking with her and we decide to get in an exclusive relationship, the words have been verbalized. This is exclusive. We're not sharing each other. We're not partaking in any other things. I'm giving my all to you. You're giving your all to me. It's like a contract, a verbal contract. So now when this person goes out and breaks that contract by having sex with another man, she's voided the agreement.
I definitely agree with that, and I definitely feel that at in the first few years of a relationship, I definitely am with you on that one. But I think if it's a longer term,
even if it's longer term, like I see what you're saying, but you never want to just stay just because you're comfortable.
No, I don't mean it in the comfortability side. I mean it more in like those experiences of
100%.
Like, if you've had an experience with someone for 3 years and it's been okay, and then someone cheats, and then you find out they like the person I've spoken to has said, you know, they've cheated multiple times on me, but they still want them back. Now, for me, that's a big no.
But you see, there's levels.
Yeah, there's levels. That's what I mean. There's different levels of it. Yeah, so it is situational, and I think it's no one can really say. We can speak for ourselves.
There's no right or wrong.
There's no right or wrong. Yes, I respect what you're saying, because I think, well, that's that's you, and that's how you will see things, and how I
have
see
to ask
things.
yourself, what is your threshold?
Yeah,
you see,
absolutely.
You said something. You said something very interesting. You're like, well, if he cheats on me once, I'll take him back. But you see, you said if I was in your friend's situation, if you were in your friend's situation and you're getting cheated on multiple times, then it's a no. Yeah, so your threshold is if he cheats on me once, it's okay. But if it's multiple times, I'm out.
Yeah.
So all it shows is what is your threshold.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not if he cheats, but it's not if he cheats on me once at the beginning of a relationship or the first year, second year, third year. That's a no for me. I'm speaking in a long-term relationship, right?
But I'm saying, even if there's multiple levels of it, like you're saying, let's say after 3 years he cheats on you.
Yeah.
You're willing to forgive and take him back.
Well, but I don't know about 3 years. I don't think that's long enough. I'm speaking 7 years. 7 years plus is like it has to. It has 7 to be years plus. Yeah.
Let's say 7 years plus. You're willing to take him back. But if it's multiple, then you're like, I'm out. That's
absolutely, because you would never. That's definitely like once is something that you can work with, but if somebody then goes and does it the next day or the next week and they're on the next month, that's like, well, you obviously do not want to make this work with me, so see you later, I'm out. And no hard feelings. You go and be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and I'll carry on doing what I'm doing. But I wouldn't be accepting that kind of behavior multiple times. Once is one thing. That's and like I said, it would have to be that they come back and they admit straight away, and they see and understand what they've done. But if it's been hidden from me and I find out, no, that's a no again.
Let's hear what Mr. Stefan has to say.
It may be having inappropriate conversations, okay? Now, the reasons why I'm bringing these up and showing you that there's so many different things to look at is because, again, it's one thing for someone to say, all right, my partner flirted with somebody, all right? And let's say you've been married for 10 years and you're gonna just leave them after 10 years because they flirted versus they had sex with someone. Now, again, this isn't to minimize the inappropriate behavior. It isn't to make it okay. It's to simply say we have to put things into proper perspective if we're trying to determine if you should stay or you should go. But let's go beyond that. One of the big reasons why I tell people it depends is because cheating sometimes or infidelity is the symptom of two people who should have never been together in the first place. All right. Some people are getting in the wrong relationship.
Let's talk about that. If you cheated on somebody, you were probably never supposed to be with them in the first place.
I don't know if
and that's why I made that statement that if, like, as he said, if they flirted with someone, if they kiss somebody, whatever. But if they go the full distance and have like bedroom fun, cheeks are being clapped, then the answer is no.
Oh dear.
Because as he said, it clearly shows that we're probably not meant for each other.
I don't know if that sits with me. Is that aligns with me?
Let's finish what he has to say, and then we'll definitely, because I'm sure people are going to want to, hear why you feel that way.
Go.
Just with the wrong person. And in my opinion, cheating is inevitable there. It's going to at some point happen. It may be months, it may be years, but it's going to come. And again, it was set up because you're with the wrong person. Now, on the flip side, For other individuals, infidelity may be a symptom of something being broken in the relationship. So you can have two people who truly are good for each other, who truly can achieve and experience an amazing, healthy relationship, but somewhere along the line, something went left. Something went wrong, and then the door opened, and unfortunately, someone walked through that door of infidelity. Now, again, that doesn't make it okay, but in that situation, this is something that can be fixed. And we can now look at how to correct it, because it's not just about the infidelity in that relationship. Let's evaluate the overall relationship. So, for example, if someone comes to me and says, hey, my partner cheated on me, I don't know what to do. Should I leave her go? One of my questions was how was the relationship overall? Like, if you had...
See, this is
See,
what I agree with that.
But you see, context matters. If
Yes.
you've had a dysfunctional relationship and they've cheated,
They're not
then
for you. I agree.
they're not for you.
I
But if he
agree.
says, if something goes far left in the relationship, like let's say the relationship's going great, great, great for, let's say, 7 years. And then eventually at some point it just steers left.
Mm-hmm.
Left is fixable.
Mm.
But you also have to understand is it also comes down to principle. The individual you're dealing with, guy or girl, you'll know how they feel about it. Because when you guys get to know each other, they'll let you know. Because if somebody really likes you, they'll let you know, hey, if you cheat on me, I'm out. So then you know off rip that if you walk through that door, they're out. They're not giving you second chances. Because think about it. Let's say you have two people, right? They're giving their all to each other. The woman's submissive, the man's a leader, he's doing his job, the woman's doing her job. Gender rules, right? In that situation, the girl is submitting, right? And the man's doing his part. And let's say she's like, if you compromise this, like any contract, there's consequences. And it's going to be like that for either side. But it depends on who you're dealing with. Somebody might be like, you know what? You cheated on me. You know, we have some work to do. Like as Stefan said, we got some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
but
that's
it does
why
just depend. It does depend,
it
Michael.
does depend.
It so
It
depends.
really does depend.
Yeah. That's why I
Because you
won't
would
say
know.
yes or no. Yeah, that's what I mean. You will know. You just like you know. And the thing is, if somebody's saying somebody's been apologetic, let's say, and then the next day you see on their phone something pops up and the woman's let's just say a man to a woman, the man's cheating, and there's a text message saying, I can't wait to see you tonight. Then obviously they've started something new with somebody else. It's not a one-off, it's a continuation of something.
Yeah.
So you really have to look at so much, because I remember being in a relationship where the person I was with, after I think 3 years, he cheated but kept on denying it. And then one day that actually happened, where the text messages popped up and I got to read them. And when I read it, he just kept on denying it, but it had been an actual relationship taking place. Now, for me, that was a no, you're out. I don't want to hear it. I don't want explanations about it. I don't want to hear anything. Get your stuff. And I actually packed his stuff there and then and said, see you later. Get out of here. And he begged, please, but I love you. No. You've actually consciously taken your time to go after work to somebody else and build a relationship with someone else. That is not a sorry for me. That's a sorry for you to take it and deal with it yourself.
See, what's so interesting about us is, you see, for you, your breaking point is a person starting a brand new relationship while being in a relationship with you.
Yes.
My breaking point is physical intimacy. He's had sex with you.
Done.
You see, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody has their point. So it's very interesting because, as you said, your point is, if you cheat on me, I'll take you back. But if you start a whole new relationship with another woman while still being with me,
that's
a
no.
cutoff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's hear what Mr. Stefan has to say in the rest of the video.
Had a dysfunctional, toxic relationship before cheating ever even occurred, then forget that they cheated. You should have left because it was toxic and unhealthy to begin with. Like, that's the real issue. The infidelity is just a symptom of that. It's just a manifestation of all the brokenness in that relationship. Now, on the flip side, if someone comes to me and says, well, when I ask that question, and they say, well, the relationship has been great, it's been amazing, at least to your perception of things. But then again, something went wrong. Maybe somebody went out, and I'm just giving this as an example. Someone went out with friends, they had too much to drink, and they end up kissing someone that night. Again, I have to repeat, this is not making it okay. I am not trying to validate, but I'm giving you an example which has happened. It's happened in many people's lives. And this is a situation where we can fix this. All right, this can be viewed as a mistake, as an accident, as a horrible one-time decision, but it's not a representation of the overall quality of the relationship. So we have to start digging deeper and start looking at the big picture when we're going to determine if you're going to stay or if you're going to leave after infidelity has occurred. Also, let me say this now. Let's say you're going to stay. One of the biggest mistakes people make in staying after infidelity is not addressing the root cause of the infidelity. So if someone cheats on you, and they say, I'm sorry, please take me back. Let's just make this work, right? And you take them back. But you never, one, heal from them cheating on you. And you never addressed why it happened. So in the example I just gave, the person went out, they drank too much. They were probably around the wrong people. Boom, something wrong went down. So, okay, how do we correct that moving forward? The root issue is, okay, alcohol, too much alcohol, or hanging out in certain environments.
You see, it's very interesting the things that he's saying. If you're with a toxic person and they cheat on you, it's just a manifestation, first of all.
It's so powerful, huh?
And as he says, if they get drunk at a party and they cheat, you know, I honestly think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you are picking the right person, because let's be honest, when a girl's really in love with a guy, she doesn't put herself in those compromising situations.
And can I also say, if somebody gets that drunk, like, because I've heard where people have got so drunk, they you know, you've seen it. Not even I've heard, I've actually seen it, where someone's so drunk, you know, they can't even stand up, right? And they don't even know their own name, and then they just stumble on people and will just, like, you see. So it makes me feel, I just feel like, ugh, when I see these things. But if somebody's getting to that point, they have issues. No, they have. I'm sorry, but no, Michael.
But see, if they're like that, you shouldn't be dating them in the first place.
Thank you. They got serious, deep issues. If you're getting that drunk, yeah, you've got issues. Nobody gets that drunk unless you're covering up your problems, Michael. You don't see me and you getting drunk like that.
Well, I would ask the question: if you're dating somebody and you're at home and they're at a party, there's a problem in the relationship.
Well, I don't know.
That type of party, though? No, but think about it. That type of party?
Well, it's up to them if they get drunk. The party could be that most people are not really, are just having a few drinks together, like controlled environment, and they come along and they get absolutely hammered. And that's not because of it's a type of party. It's just that
individual. It's different if it's like a work party, but I meant like a party, then it's like you're at home or like you're doing whatever and your girl's out at a party. There's something wrong.
Well, I don't know. I mean, again,
you know why we'll bring that up, and we'll use you as a beautiful example.
Thanks.
You've been in love with men before.
Yes.
When you were in love with those men, you never put yourself in those situations.
No, I don't.
Because you knew that those situations would hinder your relationship. And because you craved his masculine energy so much, you were like, I would rather be with him than be at a party.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. Like, in that sense, when you put it in that side of things, I totally agree. But I'm just not that girl that will go out and drink alcohol, full stop. I'm not a party girl like that. And anytime that I have gone to these things, I don't go. Actually, the reason I don't really go is because I don't want I don't like that male
Atmosphere.
attention in a party because they just want sex, and I just don't.
But
I'm
that's
not
what I'm
into
saying.
that.
If you're in a relationship, why would you go to
I
something like that
wouldn't. I
unless
would
it's not?
only go with my man. If my man says to me, "Babe, we're going to a party tonight," and takes my hand, and that's, I say, take my hand as in, you know what I mean. That's where we're going, and we're going together. Absolutely. But if he's saying to me, if it's a work party, let's say,
That's different.
and
Oh,
yeah, and they say, look, it's only work related,
yeah,
like
that's fine.
partners are not allowed, then okay, that's fair enough. But if you're going out clubbing and you're going out getting drunk, then obviously you're not ready for a relationship. And I think this is the
Exactly.
thing,
But you see,
right?
that's inconducive behavior to a relationship. That's what
Yeah,
it comes down to, right? So that's what I'm saying, that, and we've all seen it. When a girl is really in love with a guy, she doesn't do those things. She doesn't
no,
want to do those things. He's
no,
not even asking her to. She doesn't want to,
no, she
because
doesn't
she's
want to.
so in love with the guy that she's with
Yeah,
that she's like, I don't want to compromise the love we have or compromise the relationship. And you even said it yourself. The party atmosphere, you know what it is. You know what it is. So it's like, let's not play coy. Let's not play like, oh, like, no, you know what it is.
mm-hmm.
So let's let Mr. Stefan finish his thought, and then we will conclude the video.
Environment, we can't do that going forward. Clearly, it's too risky. We need to leave that alone. That's how we can start to address some of the root causes, okay? But if you don't have that conversation, if we don't get to the bottom of how did we even get here? Why did this happen? What decisions were made, and what can we do differently moving forward to correct this? Then you're defeating the purpose of staying. Because if you don't address these issues, I can assure you infidelity will happen again. All right. So you have to be mindful of that. And we can't just get back together for the sake of getting back together. We've got to correct things. We've got to fix things. We got to talk it out. So again, there's just so much that we can unpack with the infidelity, and in answering the question, should you stay or you should go, let me throw something else at you. Is this a reoccurring theme already? Like, so you may now be at this point of questioning what to do, and be at your breaking point, but this may have been after maybe several instances of infidelity in your relationship, several instances from your partner. For some of you, it may be infidelity on both sides. They cheated, you cheated, you're not sure. Maybe you're thinking, well, I should just keep going because I've done the cheating too. There's a lot to consider. I would say this: if it is repeat behavior on their end and you have not engaged in such behavior, then again, this is a huge factor in determining if we're going to stay or we should go. Because if we've already tried to fix this, if we've already discussed the deeper issues, and this individual has shown an unwillingness to make changes, to start to behave properly in this relationship and end this negative cycle of infidelity, then it's time to go. Because at that point, the only thing that might wake them up is a real consequence, and that's the consequence of you walking away. Losing you might be the only thing that finally makes them say, man, I messed up. But even then, that doesn't mean you're supposed to get them back. So I'd say it all the time. Some people don't realize what they have until it's gone, but that doesn't mean they're supposed to get it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So true. It's so true. Just
Okay,
because they realize doesn't mean that you just go, okay, come back then.
but you
No.
see, that's why I was saying, he said something very interesting. There's consequences for your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to take you back, there is going to be, we're going to address the problems. We both need to heal clearly, and we're going to address the problems,
Mm-hmm.
because that person, and again, we also have to look at this, might have commitment issues. If they like cheating or they've had a history of it, they might have commitment issues. And you can't be with somebody like that. Any thoughts? Anyways, it looks like Anthea might have froze on us. Um, but guys, thank you again for joining us on today's video. We greatly appreciate it. And I think we might have answered the question of, is cheating good or bad? Now it depends. What are your limits? What can you stand for? And it's literally going to come down to you and what your standards are. So again, look, guys, thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it. Anthea came back. What he said about cheating, how do you feel about that?
Are we here?
Yeah, we're here. But to answer the question, guys, as I said again, everything is going to be.
Am I back in the studio? Because I don't know what's just it was frozen out.
No, you just cut. I think your internet dropped. But anyways, we were
I
just
missed
concluding.
everything that was said. So my apologies.
No, you
sorry,
didn't miss too much.
The question.
All you missed is we were just concluding, saying it's not one shoe fits all.
That's right.
Everything is situational.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And then I also respect and agree with what you're saying, that there's a threshold for you. If somebody cheats, but if they sleep with someone, for you, it's a no. Doesn't matter how long, what's happened, how good the relationship's been. And I hear that and I completely respect that. But for other people out there that are watching, it's like everyone's different. And I think
what he said, there's consequences for your behavior. So sometimes the best thing to do is just to walk away.
Yeah, sometimes that is the best thing. And I think that's the problem. One of the things that he said that I just thought was, quite profound in what he's saying there is, so many people will bring them back, but not look at the core issue. Yeah. Yes. And that's what needs to be looked at. What made that happen in the first place? What is it? And if you've got an amazing relationship and that happens, then definitely, either which way around you have to look at it. But if your relationship is overall quite toxic and you've had all these different issues and problems, and it is going to be one of the manifestations of the toxicity, because it's just how it goes at the end of the day. And again, that's going to come back to you. You have to look at why is that relationship part of you? Because everything has it's a mirror reflection of yourself. So you have to look at what's going on in you that's creating this outside world in this relationship.
Yeah, where you have to seek it outside of the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I also want to include one thing though. The reason why we're saying it's situational, because it could be also different when you have children. That would be a big deciding factor too.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, if it's a toxic relationship in general and somebody goes and cheats, if you've got children, that's all the more reason.
Yeah, but I meant let's say it's positive and you have children, that would be a deciding factor for you to be like, okay, it happened once, we have kids together, a wife or whatever.
And you found out the core reasons and you've really dug into what's going on and you started to work towards things to make that difference and that change to the relationship. And you're seeing your partner doing all the things that, not because he's trying to show you, because he wants to or because she wants to. And I think that's the important thing here, right? It's not because they want to prove to you, they want to show themselves that this is,
that they want this.
They want this because it's not about the other person. It's about you. It comes back down to yourself. What do you want? Like, if I've been the one that's cheated, why have I cheated? What is it for me? I've got
accountability.
Yes, and I've got to understand: is it because I'm just not satisfied in this relationship, and I really don't want to be in it? But I'm trying to make up an excuse and I'm holding on
to something. Get out, like you're trying to get out.
Yeah, but then fearing what I would do without that person or what am I going to do by myself. And I think this happens with a lot of guys actually, because if they've built a home and they've got children and that home is being shared by their wife, by their children, whatever. If they then are not happy and they go to leave, they've got to start by themselves, right? so the woman's not going to leave the household with her children, so she has that security still, where a man has to then go and rehome himself and build a new life. So that could be really scary, and that could make somebody stick around but still go and cheat because they don't actually want to be in that relationship, but they don't want to lose what they have built there. So the easy thing to do is not say anything, go out, do their thing, and come back again, which is, again, it's not fair to the person that you're doing it to, because if that's what you're going to do, you need to let that person know, so that if she wants to go and do that, she can do that too. It's like you can't give each
That's
other the
perfect.
right.
Well, again, guys, we don't want to take too much of your time. We've given you an hour because, again, we came back stronger, better, all of it. We're going to talk to you guys on Wednesday. We have some good topics lined up for Wednesday. One of them is, are you dating the same person over and over again, different face? And then another one, are you dating project people?
These are cool. These are
So,
brilliant subjects. Really
so
exciting.
yeah, we will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining us in this new year, 2022. And we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.